Hello, I'm Charmaine Champ and I'm a Continence, Sleep and Behaviour Consultant, and I specialise in helping all children, including children with additional needs, ADHD, PDA, sensory processing, autism and many more children in being successful with their continence, sleep and behaviour needs. So today I wanted to be able to share some advice around how you as a family can help your child be successful with their sleep needs and being able to settle off to sleep as well as sleep through the night. So where do we start? One of the things we need to look at is the bedroom, so the environment. So we need to make sure that we restrict the light that's actually coming through to the bedroom. So one way we can do that is looking at a blackout blind, an example behind us. So with a blackout blind, you can have a blackout blind, you can have blackout curtains, you can also hang towels up at the window as well, just to be able to block out the light. Why we need to do this is that when light enters our eyes, it actually tells the brain that we need to wake up. So that's why we need to make the room as dark as possible. Once we've been able to address the light issue in the room, the other thing that we need to look at is the noise. So in the day we have sort of regular sort of household noises that take place and we don't really sort of notice those, but when we go to sleep things sort of seem to be amplified, especially if a child have sensory processing needs as well. So we need to make sure that there is sort of like a constant noise that a child can actually focus on. And we can do this by introducing white noise. So white noise actually helps our children to distract and actually focus on one particular sound. So an example of this is something like this, which is a dream egg white noise, and you can actually have it at different volumes. It has a light as well, and there's lots of different sounds that you can have as well. And it's just finding the right sound that works for your child. So that's a white noise machine that you can introduce. Some people have a fan actually going, but I just find with the white noise it actually means that you can have different fan sounds as well as lots of other noises as well. So you can actually adjust the volume. It also means that you can go out and about with it, you can plug it in if you're away, so yeah, you can take it wherever you go as well. So white noise is another thing that we can look at. We also need to sort of think about the temperature in the room as well, because if we're getting too hot, then it's going to be very difficult for children to settle off to sleep. So they're the sort of things that we can look at initially. So we're looking at the light, the noise and the temperature. So once we've sorted out the actual environment, the next thing we need to think about is actually trying to help our children get into bed and be ready to go to sleep. So for many children and families that I work for, this is actually the major hurdle in itself, in the fact that many children just don't seem ready to actually go to sleep. Some children that I work with seem like they're on the go, they're wanting to move a lot, they're wanting to do lots of, they're wanting to run, jump, bounce, that type of thing. So what we need to think about is thinking about their sensory processing needs. We need to help the children be able to be ready to go to sleep. So once we've got the environment ready, we know that the room is actually ready, we need to think about the bed as well. So we need to make sure that the bed is big enough to fit the child on, because obviously we know that children grow in rapid rates. So we need to make sure that the feet are comfortably on the bed. We need to make sure that the mattress is comfortable as well. So we're thinking about the bed. We need to make sure that the child can easily access the bed as well. So that's sort of looking at the environment and the bed. So once we've done that, we're thinking about our children. So if our child is bouncing around and is finding it really difficult to keep still, how can we actually help our children be able to settle to sleep if we can't even get them into bed. So one way we can do that is to think about their sensory needs and thinking about the sensory diet. So if they're actually needing to have movement, they're needing to move their whole body, so we're thinking about the vestibular sensory need. So they may need to have more and more sensory, movement activities in the day, so having them at structured times. So things that you can do is looking at sort of swinging, jumping, bouncing, and you can have things like exercise balls as well, that they can always help, and it's just another way to help children sort of bounce around to do that. So what we want to look at is that we don't want to be doing that sort of thing immediately before they're going to bed, because what can happen is sometimes children can be oversensitive to these activities, and then it can then mean that they're much more active just before bed as well. So we're thinking about the bouncing, jumping. We want to be doing that in the daytime. So that's sort of part of their structured routine in the day. So that's what we need to look at. The other things that we can do to help is looking at making sure that children have a structured eating routine as well. So we're having a set time for having breakfast, lunch and evening meal. So that will help the body and their circadian rhythm. So it helps the body know that they are actually ready to be able to go to sleep because they've had breakfast, lunch and an evening meal. They've had their structured activities, structured movement activities in the day if that's what they're seeking. So then once you're actually in bed, things that we can do to help. So some children can be quite sort of stressed or anxious when they're in bed because they're actually, it's a time when they've actually got time to think about what's actually happening in the day. So it's a really good time to be able to actually give children things to fiddle with. So in the daytime you can have different sort of fidget or movement toys, but obviously when you're at night time we're wanting things that are quite soft. We don't want, you know, if they're actually going to fall asleep and they're actually fiddling with them, you don't want them to then roll onto them. So we're thinking about sort of more softer sort of fidgety type toys. So we're sort of thinking of things that they can fiddle with, things like these, or like the fidgety, you know, stretchy sort of fidget toys as well. So thinking about, so we've thought about the environment. We're then thinking about sort of fiddle, you know, activities. So we're having like the structured activities in the day. We're thinking about the structured movement activities as well to help children be ready to go to bed. And then the other thing that we can look at, we can also look at a fidget bum as well. So with a fidget bum, we've got a willing volunteer in here. So with a fidget bum, the idea of that is that it actually goes onto the bed, and again it's looking at those proprioception sensory needs. So it's looking at the pressure that they're having. So again we're looking at those sensory needs. So it could be that they're looking at that movement, so they're wanting to move, and they're actually needing some sort of resistance, so they're actually needing some sort of pressure with that. And that's where the fidget bum can come in. It's fantastic for that. So with the fidget bum, it fits into the bed. So we've got it shown here underneath the duvet. So it's just to sort of show you that it's underneath the duvet. Some children like to have the duvet inside the fidget bum. Each child is individual, so it's just trying to find something that works for you. So it's sort of looking at the fidget bum here. So, and we've got it's a really, really stretchy, soft material, and it's really, really comfortable. And you've got the zip, so you can easily get in and out. So the children, once they're in, I don't know if our willing volunteer can just move their arms about so we just show how stretchy that is. Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you, willing volunteer. So, yeah, so this is really soft and comfortable. And again, that gives, there we go, make them more comfortable in there. So again, that just gives children another aspect to help with their sensory processing needs, and it gives them something to help when they're actually moving. It's great for children also that find it difficult to actually keep the covers on. So when we mentioned earlier, we were talking about the temperature. So if the fact that the covers are coming off and therefore the child is actually getting cold and the covers are being removed, it could be that actually the fidget bum actually helps because it maintains that temperature for the child. It's soft, breathable, and it means that the covers aren't going to come off. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hopefully you found some of the information that I've shared today useful and to help with your child in settling off to sleep. But if you do have difficulties in helping your child settle off to sleep, or you would like further support, then help is available. I'm going to be doing some more videos specifically around children's individual needs, so around autism, ADHD, PDA, etc. So if you would like further information, then it's going to be available on the website, or feel free to contact me. Either way, help is available. So look forward to speaking to you again soon. Okay, bye.